Hello everyone, it is extraordinarily excellent to espy each and every exuberant expression this evening. Ere long, you'll experience our engaging entertainment in episode E of Geek Interesting, Extraordinary Explorers, and the End of Everything. Eventually, we'll elucidate, expound, and extemporize on engaging events encompassing Muppets, Marvels, and the plural of apocalypse. I'm your Quizmistress, Abbey St. This eve, I'm extra excited to exhort you to endow effusive applause on our exceptional guest panelists, the Gentlemen Hecklers. Hello. Please welcome, personally, the Dungeon Master of the Critical Hit Show, the entertaining Eric Fell. The Critical Hit Show's dauntless dwarven defender, the engaging Shaun Stewart. From Patrick Maliha's third annual Naughty Little New Year's Eve with Patrick Maliha, it's the enchanting Patrick Maliha.
The name is already there, I was just very lucky to get the job.
Needs more Ivan Decker. And of course...
That is the kind of humor you'll expect from my opponents, the other Gentlemen Hecklers.
And of course...
Appropriate response.
We're in for good night.
And of course, from Living Myth Media, and not a gentleman at all, the entirely expected Aaron Golden.
I put on a nice shirt. I can be a gentleman.
Well, almost.
Almost.
Before we get into the actual questions, we have a little unfinished business. As those of you who got our previous show, Colorful Cuties and the Crawling Chaos, will know, something amazing happened at that. A panelist challenged one of my answers and was awarded a big bonus for being right. The question was, the Cthulhu mythos is a sprawling body of work contributed to by many authors. Lovecraft himself created Cthulhu and a number of the other well-known entities, but he was not the first acclaimed author to write about the entity, about the deity called Hastur, who was. My answer was Ambrose Bierce, who wrote about a benign god of shepherds called Hastur in his 1893 story, Haida the Shepherd. Aaron, what was your answer?
Henry Cornelius Agrippa and the 3 books of occult philosophy. Is that going to be like an ongoing thing now? Can I just...
The internet is a weird place where I found English copies of those books. Convenient in a searchable PDF form.
Damn it.
Agrippa did not reference Hastur or any deity with an even vaguely similar name. Instead, he referenced Hester, described as a biblical book about the king of Persia. Not a deity at all, but a reference to the Old Testament book of Esther.
Yes, the Yellow King of Persia.
No. Bierce was indeed the first to mention Hester, the deity, and now the world has been put back into a proper order.
I would just like to state for the record that I have absolutely no confidence that I will win tonight.
You're still going to beat me.
If these are the only way I will be able to beat anyone on this panel is if 17 of you agree to take $300 each to physically attack these people.
Now that you've mentioned it, I'll be a little clearer on this for those of you who may not have seen the show before, and of course, the gentlemen who are new to the show itself. On this trivia show, you are not expected to know the answers.
Thank God.
So instead, you will be awarded points for being interesting, which is to say...
Again, I feel as though I will lose this game.
So should
True, but that's wrong.
Should I take my pants off now then?
It is a short game.
Are you
Boom!
sure?
High
Are you sure that would be interesting?
To me. Sorry, is there another? Are there more criteria?
Yeah.
I'd be interested.
There we go.
There are more criteria, but we don't tell anyone what they are. Excellent. So be interesting, be funny, be right if you can, but it's okay if you're not.
Don't mention necromancy.
Done.
All right, and our first question.
Aaron, you have a 70-point handicap.
Only?
have negative 70 points starting.
Only?
Well,
By the end of the night, Aaron will be in second place. I guarantee you.
By the way,
the audience will be first.
oh, excellent.
That is
That's why
happening.
Erica's our
We've had
leader.
the audience win.
How do we say that we know the answer? Do we just raise our hand, or do we
Just jump in.
Jump in? All right.
All right. Gently. Jump in gently. Try not to hurt everyone else in the process.
I cannot make that promise.
Very good. A popular kind of the end of the world is religious. The final, most terrible wrath of God, where he is so sick of everything that he starts shaking his cosmic Etch-a-Sketch. But why would you shove the wrath of God into your own head? Oh, you go ahead.
You'd have to ask fans of Drake. Drake,
Sean
his
out the
music
gate
is
with the
shitty.
shade.
I would say that you would shove the wrath of God into your own head because you are indoctored into that religious belief, and also you live in a society that requires a certain set of rules.
I have this particular set of rules. I will find you.
So you're playing Magic the Gathering and you just lost because somebody played the Wrath of God card, so you take their card in sheer anger and you shove it into your head like a beer can. And suddenly you haven't won, but you feel better.
Is there no correct answer for our existentialist discussion?
I was gonna say, do you want very angry Athena to pop out? That's interesting. I like that. That's good. It's wrong, but it's pretty good. Especially
Is there any particular god whose wrath we're shoving into the head, or is it like...
Frank Sinatra!
This one is in fact about Yahweh.
About who?
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The usual god you hear about around the
Oh,
parts.
right, yeah, basic. Your basic god.
Standard edition god.
Standard
1.0.
edition.
No, okay.
Vanilla god.
Vanilla is the most popular flavor for a reason. I would like to state that for a
True,
record.
although this
This is how Patrick starts his evangelical Christian.
Why do you
Vanilla is the most popular flavor, and that's why.
Vanilla
That's
is
why
the most
vanilla died on the Christ. Died on the cross. for us.
Listen, vanilla is the most popular flavor because it is the one flavor you can add anything to, and it simply makes it better than. It is a basis for all ice cream,
don't know why
basic
he's so
drinks,
angry.
and ingredients.
He's
All
very-
I'm saying is that if you're going to call religion of the Catholic orientation vanilla, then you're admitting that it is the greatest religion.
Amen.
But they're very against adding your own parts to it.
I would just
Listen,
like to, I
you
would just
can
like
take your tiger stripe, fucking Buddhism, and eat a dick.
I would like to say for the fact,
May have
for the
gone off
record,
track.
that Patrick Maliha is actually lactose intolerant, so he would
That is my argument as to why I've remained atheist. I am the most interesting one on the bench.
All right, the actual answer.
according to the police.
The actual answer.
Just don't take your 14-year-old visually impaired kid to the mall to take pictures.
You leave my girlfriend out of this.
Van City Field Tech. They're dicks. Are they here? You're dicks.
That is the mother of my children.
Van City Buzz is the mother of your children.
That's why I thought we were talking about the previous.
Hours from now.
Partners, what's that?
I was going to keep going. There's an answer.
I thought it was rhetorical.
I thought we were going to spend an hour and a half finding the answer.
This is it. This is the
I
one.
thought this was a far more.
Questions.
Oh my God, are those all the
Those are
questions?
blank, Abby.
This
All
is
the
a
questions.
14 and a half hour game show.
It is now.
The actual answer for that insanity is to understand any language. One of the most famous Wrath of God stories is the Tower of Babel, where people try to build a tower to reach heaven and are punished by having all the languages scrambled. This is where Douglas Adams got the name of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy's alien creature you stick into your ear to understand all spoken language, the Babelfish.
I disagree.
Very good.
I think you need brain freeze, so you're eating all this vanilla ice cream and suddenly you have it and that's your apocalypse.
Nuts for feeding the fish when you're doing it.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Right.
I think the audience has spoken. Neither of those.
And that's why Marvin the Martian's head looks like Marvin the Paranoid Android's head looks like an ice cream scoop there.
All right, I'm going
It
to
all makes
concede
sense.
to Eric on that one. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
It's fantastic.
Are you the scorekeeper, Patrick?
Yeah, I like it when your writing partner goes, well, that's okay, that's a good joke.
I declare that Eric's point is okay. I am still the most interesting person. Eat a dick.
You're Rob Brydening this, stop it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has been in many different media, starting with the 1978 radio series. Although it didn't become a feature film until 2005, that was only the last in several attempts to make a Hitchhiker's Guide movie. The first time it was optioned was well before then. Why did the optioners not make it?
They did not understand the concept and felt that they would not make money. What does that mean?
That means you said something we predicted and lost points for it.
Well, you could eat a dick.
That has to be in there. That has to be in there. He's got a quota for eat a dick. Is eat a dick in there?
It will be by the end of the show.
You are either excellent or terrible at flirting. I will tell you that right now.
Well, I'll tell you this. I could eat a dick, but I'm not going to.
And for that, I respect you.
Very good.
I mean, I'm not a vegetarian. Because that's. Anyway, I do know that when they were talking about it during Douglas Adams' lifetime, that he basically said that I heard that he had wanted Hugh Laurie would have been a good Arthur Dent back in the day.
Yeah, that was one of the many people he thought about.
And he basically, well, the only criteria is that he be English.
Yes, actually, Douglas Adams always said the only character that absolutely had to be English was Arthur. But that has nothing to do. That's interesting, but it has nothing to do with it.
Oh, I don't know the answer. I just like Belgium, like the use of Belgium, as we all know.
Use of Belgium.
The use of Belgium in Hitchhiker's
We
Guide.
haven't been using Belgium for anything.
Oh no, in the I think it was the American version. Of Hitchhiker's Guide.
Saying that terrible word.
Which word?
Sorry,
Belgium version?
yeah. But the American, but in the American publication of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, didn't they replace the word fuck with the word Belgium?
Actually, that was right from the beginning. The radio play.
That was even the radio play.
The radio play, and it wasn't even a replace. They actually had a thing in the original radio version where there was this whole introduction about how Belgium was the worst word in the world, and then Zayfa.
Is this true?
You know, Shaun and I did a podcast years ago where we just hated on Belgium.
Well, you did.
I did.
I kept an open mind.
You did, but I was just completely anti-Belgium.
But is that true? So they replaced the word fuck with Belgium?
They used Belgium as a swear word. I'm not sure it followed the mechanic of replacing Belgium.
So you could be like, I just Belgium the shit out of her.
Well, you have to know what you're talking about, and I know you've never been to Belgium, and I know you've never been to Belgium.
I think with that attitude, you just go Belgium yourself.
Listen, Mother Belgium.
Okay.
They hired Michael Bay to be the director originally, and he couldn't get past that first scene where they blow up the Earth.
Well, they started shooting on a Thursday, and he could never get the hang of it.
No. The first time the guide was optioned was in 1982 by producers Joe Medchuk, Michael C. Gross, and a third colleague.
Wait, Michael Gross from Family Ties?
Michael C. Gross.
Oh, Michael C. Gross.
That's a different dude, I believe.
That would have been a great movie.
Anyway, they were planning to use it as a vehicle for either of their two favorite comedy actors, who were both considered for the role of Ford Prefect. The problem was that the actors were Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and the third producer was Ivan Reitman. They didn't make the Hitchhiker's Guide movie because they made Ghostbusters instead.
Same movie.
Did that go okay?
Yeah.
What's this, Ghostbusters?
I'm not sure. I actually haven't seen it.
You know, guys, speaking of, today is the date. Today's the actual date where Marty McFly goes back in time and stops the Ghostbusters. I read that on the internet.
Oh yes, on the internet you can read that.
I read that. That was a meme I saw on my Facebook feed.
Sure.
In between inspirational quotes. It was wonderful.
And pictures of people's pizza, which, if Patrick had anything to do with it, had extra sausage.
Patrick's going to tell you to eat in Belgium.
You can just Belgium yourself right in the Amsterdam. That's what
Oh, he brustles with anger.
Very good. Books and indeed radio plays go through a lot of revisions. Slarty Barfast, the Magra-themed coastline artist, had a much different name in the first drafts of the guide. What was it, and why did he end up with this one?
Farty Slartbast. Chim Chim Jonas.
Hang on, you know what? I'm gonna give it to you.
What?
The actual name was Farty Fuckballs, which is about as close to scatological humor as you'll find on this show. Adams wanted
I
to name
disagree.
himself-
Yeah. You just wait, Abby.
Okay, without you guys. Normally that's yours. Perpetrated by me. How about that?
Okay.
As close as
All
you'll
right.
find scatological humor perpetrated by me. Adams wanted to make it sound as rude as possible, so he started there and made it slightly less nasty over and over until the BBC radio censors were willing to let it through.
That's a great story.
Yeah,
They didn't go
essentially,
penis van lesbian? Like, right from the start, penis van lesbian. Dick Van Dyke.
Farty Fuckballs, that's where they started.
Farty Fuckballs. Farty Belgian balls.
That would have been too bad. Essentially, it was the reverse of the process by which South Park arrived at Uncle Fucker. Huh. And that's the noise. That's my favorite noise. That's what this show is about. Huh.
This show's about whereas my life is about
Or in the worst case, Weird names are more common than cups of tea in The Hitchhiker's Guide, but the radio series included a character with a weird name, Agrajag, whose presence in that series was way odder than their name. There were two amazingly weird things about this character's portrayal. What were they?
Agrajag was played by Douglas Adams post-mortem.
That is one of them. What's the other one? Very good though.
I don't know.
He was once a potted plant.
Could you repeat the question, please?
He was once a bowl of petunias.
Yes.
He was once reincarnated as a bowl of petunias.
That's the
that
character.
fell along with. Well, Agrajag, his
whale.
character was he was continually being reincarnated, and every time he dies, he gets killed by Arthur Dent.
Yep,
By
that's it.
accident.
That's the guy.
Yeah, by accident. So that's. I'm
This
wondering
sounds like
if-
a really good book. Has anybody read it?
Probably a few.
Look, I thought it started as a radio play.
Did it?
Well, no, but that was the question.
That's what we were talking about before.
I'm not paying attention.
Anyway,
Patrick is just lost in his own world, thinking like, be interesting, be interesting, be interesting.
Yeah, he just wants ice cream.
He wants ice cream in Belgium, and it's going to be vanilla ice cream.
I just want Belgian waffles.
Slathered with ice cream.
all right, the actual answer, and Eric is pretty much almost there already, and certainly half of the reason is it was post-mortem, Douglas Adams, and it was post-mortem. The two things are, the actor didn't know he was doing it, and he was dead at the time. Agrajag, a creature known to be repeatedly killed by protagonist Arthur Dent, was portrayed posthumously by Douglas Adams. Sound producer Dirk Maggs did this by splicing together tapes of Adams reading his own books. He wasn't acting when he did the lines for Agrajag.
Yeah, it was a dramatic reading. Speaking of dramatic reading, we got James Bond behind us.
Well, you have a James Bond. Not one of the better ones. Some of the
Hey, his
weirdest...
stuff holds up.
Yeah, his stuff holds up. Okay, in The Living Daylights, he goes into Afghanistan and helps the Mujahideen. Well done, James. How did that
I
turn
love how
out?
you act as though these people know what you're talking about.
The Mujahideen. We're not going to get into that, are we?
Interesting story. I understand that their ancestors are from Indonesia.
Well, after the Soviet Union left Afghanistan, the Mujahideen got up to other things, some of them. Let's just leave it at that.
Knitting,
Did they get up to the great game?
soccer.
Al-Qaeda.
Big fans of the
Can we
second-
all just acknowledge the fact that Timothy Dalton, is that Timothy Dalton?
That is
Timothy Dalton.
Who's that?
That's Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton.
Yes, well, I don't know how I knew that, but honestly, sometimes things come into my head and I say it to people like, that's correct, and I'm like, I don't know where this knowledge is coming from. But
From Belgium.
we need to, yes, oh,
It's all
my goodness.
imported.
We need to acknowledge the fact that Timothy Dalton's fan is here tonight.
And then,
He was Daniel Craig before there was a Daniel Craig.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying.
It's not going on her head.
all right.
Whoever that woman
Lazenby.
is.
Anybody from Lazenby? Lazenby. George Lazenby?
He actually
Okay.
didn't do that bad of a job.
It's never happened to the other fellow.
Some of the weirdest things about the guide, or at least about its
Are we still talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
some of the weirdest things about the guide,
Yes.
or at least about its creator, are not fictional at all.
Okay.
Douglas Adams is responsible, indirectly the first time and directly the second, for a Time Lord getting married. Twice. What happened?
Douglas Adams introduced Lala Ward to Richard Dawkins.
Very, very good. That is the second time. What was the first?
Maybe something to do with Tom Baker?
This is not fair.
Yes.
Basically,
I would like-
we're doing Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and how it relates to Doctor Who, and Eric Fell is just like,
This is as though
my
somebody
whole
were to
life has
say-
been leading up to this.
This is it. This is the only time I'm correct about anything.
Listen, unless there is a category today that is about women that Patrick Maliha wishes to have sex with who are over the height of 6'9", I am protesting these questions.
Well, Big Barda. Are there questions about Big Barda? Because this is about apocalypse. There's
If there's questions
We'll
about-
segue to fourth world stuff, Patrick. We'll do it.
Thank you.
Just to clear that up, yes, Douglas Adams introduced Lalla Ward to her still husband, Richard Dawkins, and also it was him who was working on the script for the episode that actually introduced the second Romana, and therefore introduced Lalla Ward to Tom Baker indirectly.
I think
And
there's
what
something-
flavor of ice cream does Richard Dawkins eat?
One that's gradually becoming more and more of an asshole.
Yeah. I hope the answer is shit.
Just like Richard Dawkins is like, no, stop now. You can please retire. No, oh God, why? Stop.
He speaks highly of you.
You know, somehow I doubt that.
The words must.
I think we had something from the audience.
Oh no, that's what I was going to say.
Lalla Ward is from a British noble family. While the nobility in general are only famous for being famous, her great-grandmother was much more interesting.
That was Tinky Winky Ward.
Not so much. Mary Ward was a scientific explorer. I know you're making a Teletubbies joke. No. Mary Ward was a scientific explorer in her own right, an early microscopist, whose careful drawings of tiny specimens graced a number of textbooks, including
That's
one
too
she
bad.
wrote herself.
That joke got a Poe response.
Her end was very interesting too.
Did she get
I'll
birth?
say. Like, can we have a picture of it?
Did she get birth?
But you can look at a picture of Lalla Ward for a bit if you want.
I'm sure, yeah.
All right. Funny story.
I think we'll be the judge of that.
No, I actually don't have a story. I wanted to say funny story. That's it. Go on. So how did her grandfather die?
A great-grandmother, and that's our question. Why was it interesting the way that Mary Ward, Lalla's great-grandmother, died?
Well, because her great-grandmother actually died trying to, give birth to Bert Ward, who, when Bert Ward came out of
Through time, there was a poll. There was
Bert
a time.
Ward came out of her baby hole. I don't know
Somebody don't know the words.
term for
This
it.
happened in 1869, so...
69, I rest my case, Your Honor. Please, if we could have some decorum, I'm talking about a woman giving birth to a man 100 years before he was born. Bert Ward, as I was trying to say, walked out of her baby hole and
Walked out of her baby hole.
Yes,
I would have assumed it was a pole and he came out in
yes.
full uniform.
Originally, her baby hole was referred to as the back cave, and so when it came out, he said,
I don't want to know any more about
he
that.
said to himself, he said, are these stalactites or stalagmites? I don't know which hangs from the top and which hangs from the bottom. To which somebody said, this is stuff we can't talk about. He was put into a cryogenic chamber and frozen until his actions...
I'm stopping you before we find out what the Batmobile is in this instance. The actual...
That was obvious.
I concur. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing it could be.
Any actual guesses?
That was...
Yes, the Batmobile's the penis. Yeah, that's the only thing it could be.
We'll stipulate that.
That's a logical conclusion. to this.
Did perhaps her great-grandmother Mary Ward died after she did? That would be interesting.
That would be pretty cool, but no.
Brian, she strangled herself on a very long scarf.
No. No,
That would be interesting. How would that be interesting?
Look at the picture of her great-granddaughter. She's wearing a very long scarf.
I know, but you wouldn't see a headline. Headline: Woman strangles herself with very long
Was
scarf.
she married to Henry Cornelius Agrippa?
Not so much. Although she's almost old enough. What actually happened was she was killed after being thrown from a homemade steam-driven car built by her neighbors, then caught under the wheels.
Which she was strangled by her extra long scarf.
Yeah, that's why you don't wear an extra long scarf on
In the
steam-powered
back.
cars. people.
Classic steam-powered
The
car.
fact that this was in 1869 makes her the first person ever to be killed by a motor vehicle.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is it, yeah.
That is, I'm gonna...
There's interesting stuff here, I swear!
Name of the show.
Is the name of the show? Oh, it's Geek Interesting.
Yes! He thought it was Geekern Sting.
He just never notices what comes after the colon.
Surprisingly, I have nothing to say after.
Douglas Adams only wrote a few scripts for Doctor Who entirely himself, one of which was interrupted mid-filming by the 1979 BBC strike. The episode was never completed for television, though it did become an official audiobook release. However, the script for that episode, and one other that did get filmed, had an unusual fate. What is it?
Go ahead, Eric.
Frank.
Go on. You might write this. An unusual thing, because the audio one was eventually done by Paul McGann, right? Didn't Paul McGann do
And put
Shada?
out as a novel.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Shada is correct, yeah.
Shada is
I'm gonna steal from the audience and say that it came out as a novel. Was that it, Craig?
a lot of episodes have come out as novels.
It was Shada, and it did come out as a novel last year.
This is all good, but not interesting. This is not the unusual fate, because this happens to a lot of things. Like, a lot of the Doctor Who episodes become novelized at some point or another.
I would like to...
Here's an interesting thing. There was a novelization of the movie.
Anatomy.
I'm sorry, what?
They reworked it for an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Is that true?
I doubt it very much.
But what I was saying that was interesting was
sounds like it could be
there's
true.
a novelization of the movie Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Wow. That's true.
Give that yeah. They're
True.
Yeah.
Do I get points?
Is it based on the novel Push by Sapphire?
Yes.
Did you know that when the original Fellowship of the Ring movie came out, that Peter Jackson won, there was actually a publisher that was so dead set that needed to be a book that they hired somebody to write the novelization of The Lord of the Rings?
I read a review of Lord of the Rings, of Fellowship when it came out, and there was a guy, and he was so angry that when Gandalf fell in Moria and Frodo was freaking out, they're like, that is such a blatant ripoff of Star Wars.
Dude, those Mujahideen guys you were mentioning earlier, big fans of the second book.
I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I read. I would be getting a lot more of what's going on right
Anyway,
now.
I'm actually slightly surprised Eric didn't give us one after his last couple.
Can I go to the audience for an answer at all? Or?
The audience can shout answers if
Oh,
you're willing to
do we, I thought that we
No,
have
they
to
can-
like say I need the audience to help me.
No, they can raise their hand.
No,
Oh,
they're
I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, they are an unwashed, untrained mob. You can't control them.
You should hear what she's keeping in about you people.
The audience wants to know what the question is so that they can answer it.
The question was, Douglas Adams only wrote a few scripts for Doctor Who entirely himself, one of which was interrupted mid-filming, and that was indeed Shada, so well done. The episode was never completed for television, though it did become an official audiobook release. However, the script for that episode, and for one other, that did get filmed,
Dirk
had the
Gently.
usual...
Dirk Gently.
Oh, yes, there we go.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
Dirk Gently.
Recycled into a new franchise. The plots for the unfilmed Shada and the filmed City of Death, both by Adams, became Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency.
We were just talking about that the other day. That's the kind of conversations I have with Desi. It's true.
Paul Grant.
It's not interesting, but it's true.
It does sound interesting.
Paul Grant and Nicholas Reed are two actors you probably haven't heard of, but you have definitely seen the movies they were in. Along with another rather more famous name, they were both Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, and all of them have been cast as goblins together multiple times. That particular goblin horde represents an interesting connection. What is it?
I'm guessing it's goblins from the movie Labyrinth.
That's not a connection.
Okay, sorry, I just saw something pop up on the screen and then go away really fast.
And don't show them later pictures.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly,
Yes, you are.
I
You
get
do all
lost
the
at the
time.
first
You
sentence
really
of your
see
questions. I can't follow what's going on.
But
I-
that's just,
Patrick.
that's not you though. That's not you, Abby. That's Patrick. I've tried having a conversation with him.
Listen, I don't know who these people are and why they keep staring at us. I was told there would be a bikini portion of this competition. I have been dieting strictly, but that's not true. I've eaten an abnormal amount due to stress, and I'm glad there is no bikini competition.
No, go right ahead. That would be
The end.
interesting.
What? I feel uncomfortable.
So is this connection
Mainly
related?
because I'm getting a boner.
Is this
No.
connection related to goblins?
So there's.
If you mean a movie called Goblins, no.
No. I mean, because so you've got these two actors along with a third actor.
We're actually cast as goblins.
Okay.
In multiple movies together.
Okay.
Yes?
And that creates an interesting connection, and I'm wondering what's interesting about the movies in which they were goblins.
They're all fantasies.
They launched
Well,
the
yes.
career of Warwick Davis.
That's a good answer.
That's not what I'm looking for, although it is where it starts.
They were all produced by George Lucas.
No.
All the puppets were done by Jim Henson?
No.
Hey, these are great answers. I'm not gonna lie.
If questions with that answer, I might do.
They all ended up doing something with Ricky Gervais.
Oh, God.
All of them auditioned for the part of Ello.
Sean's actually on the right track. Labyrinth is part of the answer.
They were all in Time Bandits?
Nope.
David Bowie slept with all of them? By the way, I would like to state for the record that sleeping with them may or may not have involved his crotch. He was a gentleman who I am sure would have pleased them in ways that they enjoyed, not the way that he enjoyed. I feel as though he would have been someone who would have serviced himself secondary because he was that type of man. And that is what my fan fiction shall be. And David Bowie
That's right. 'Cause you wrote your
ground control to Major Tom's unit.
and there's a star man waiting in this guy. You wrote that one too. Yeah.
That's right, and Blue
Ziggy
Jean Blue Jean is simply about someone who cannot get
All
satisfied
right, this
sexually.
particular question wound up way less respectful than I had in mind, because the answer is, all these actors were cast as goblins in exactly 2 movies, Labyrinth and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah,
This
I don't-
horde,
okay,
therefore-
listen, I'm gonna just say this right now. Are we gonna have anything that involves broads?
Did you notice the word before the colon?
Geek?
Right!
Oh, hold on. That
Also, do you remember the previous question about how a lady died?
No!
the one about Lala Ward.
I thought the question was about Lady Di.
She's a candle in the wind.
Thank you.
Seems to me.
Still a car accident.
Who is saying these things? I just hear a voice. Does everybody else hear this voice?
No.
No.
No, what voice?
What people?
I don't hear Patty at all.
Patrick, this is the rehearsal. There's nobody here. What are you seeing?
You think that would make me feel uncomfortable, but I actually feel like this is good. I'm in my natural element.
Anyway, as I was saying, this horde of goblins is therefore the closest link between the recently deceased and lamented David Bowie and Alan Rickman. The third actor who was a goblin in exactly those 2 movies, and also an Ewok, you will certainly know, it was Warwick Davis.
I'm not gonna lie, that is a really, really good connection to make on such short notice. It is. You did not have a lot of time to prep for that. That is not something you came up with last week. I think people should be more impressed than they are. You're acting like that's something that you can fucking know.
Maybe, Patrick, you don't know. Maybe she did come up with it last week and then hired somebody to make it interesting.
Listen, I'm not going to waste a goblin horde once I found one.
That person's name was Cancer. I'm sorry.
Oh, why? You were ahead and
I
now
don't
you're
support it.
behind.
I don't
Shaun
support it.
Stewart, this is why your fan base doesn't grow more than it should.
No, it's one of the 2 guys.
Wait,
that
are we
was
using
so-
fan base as a euphemism now too, or
It's a euphemism. It's a euphemism for ice cream.
is fan base the new
The 2 of you can just go Belgium yourself.
Patrick's bag of dicks contains many synonyms. Anyway. Labyrinth,
and
of course.
cinnamon?
Yeah,
Cinnamon
cinnamon
dick.
dick.
Oh, man.
Cinnamon dick. There's
I think it was Neil Young who said it best.
I wanna have a cinnamon dick, a cinnamon dick that I can live.
Yeah, that was Neil Young. Yeah.
From Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Reminds me of Patrick's wedding night.
There are 2 things we've talked about tonight that make my tongue numb.
Labyrinth, of course, is a musical. Musicals have dancing, and dancing requires choreography.
Correct. Point to Abbey.
Chances are everyone here has heard of Jim Henson's choreographer, whose work can be found in Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, and even The Muppets Take Manhattan, even if they have never watched a Muppet tango in their lives.
Because it is Gates McFadden.
Oh, fuck, yes! Yes, it is!
I'm addicted to watching '80s commercial compilations on the YouTube?
Yes, things that Eric likes. Is that the name of this show? Geek interesting. In parentheses, things Eric
Interesting
enjoys.
pretty much translates.
Is
to
the next
things that
question
Eric-
going to be 117 questions about Star Wars figurines? Listen, come on, just fuck you.
Patrick, I believe you mean Belgium.
No, I mean fuck you, go fist yourself. And I don't mean go fuck yourself, I mean go fist yourself. Take your own fist, make it into that which you would punch someone, but don't take it, insert it straight into your...
Jeez, he's really Belgian.
Put it,
We are,
put it right into the place that is
we're
2
halfway
inches
through the
from
show.
your Burt Ward back cave.
Oh, you don't have to let me do this.
Patrick,
Patrick, we can
is
flirt later.
How?
I apologize, I'm not really used to being
How?
part of the
And
team.
do try to answer it. How did the Dark Crystal's cutting room floor help end the Cold War?
Rocky beat Ivan Drago. That's what ended the Cold War. We all know this. Right?
The Dark Crystal's cutting room floor helped end the Cold War because, as you can see, that dark room floor is where Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev made sweet, sweet love to each other. And I remember when Ronald Reagan said to Mr. Gorbachev, "Tear down these pants."
I'm just going to start talking over Patrick. Was Ronald Reagan in the Dark Crystal originally and said very inflammatory anti-Russian things?
I think my answer was much
The
better.
Crystal calls. Well, those Soviet bastards are going to rape our children.
Well,
It was Ronald Reagan who said it. Don't get upset.
Yeah.
despite how much the Republicans actually resemble the Skeksis, no, that didn't happen. Nope, the actual thing is early drafts of the script had Jen and Kira make part of the journey through the underworld where they encountered a race of mining creatures. This was cut from the Dark Crystal but became part of the basis
Was
of
it the Doozers?
Fraggle Rock.
Oh,
and in
I can see the
1989...
cards. I'm not gonna lie.
Stop that. In 1989,
not
as a
true.
peak
Eric
of the
just knows a lot about
Fraggle
nothing.
Rock became the first ever US TV series to be broadcast in the Soviet Union.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
That's amazing. That's very cool.
Yeah.
It also explains why you had like the professor. He's the proletariat. He's the one who rules over all. And then there's that
And then there's
wall.
Marianne
and then
and
the
Ginger.
communism.
And then,
the communists, the lowly serfs, the people. They are now they're the.
And of course, Fonzie. He's the.
He's one of the others, and he's in a hatch. Right? Yeah.
That's
Boy, that show
why
got
he has
canceled
the
way too
ability
soon.
to just snap
There
his
is a
fingers and
story
make things happen.
about Pablo Picasso that says when he was asked what it was like to be him, he took out a $1 bill and said, "It is now worth $50. That's what it's like to be Pablo Picasso."
A
We
dick?
well, yes, but we don't know if this is true. It probably isn't, but we do know for sure that something remarkably similar happened to a building in Scotland. What happened exactly?
Pablo Picasso signed it, and it's now worth $50.
There's possibly two answers for this. One was there was a decrepit old house in Scotland that was on the verge of being torn down before it was purchased by Aleister Crowley, who painted a bunch of murals on the walls which like quadrupled the house's like property value.
Everybody loves a satanic orgy mural.
Absolutely.
The weird thing is, although he's completely wrong, that what he's describing is a real thing that happened, but it wasn't Aleister Crowley, it was Goya. Goya, the artist.
Goya did that too.
Goya.
Crowley actually did the exact same thing in Scotland. It was, well, he was in between like various satanic orgies.
Well, Patrick did that to a house of equipment when he spray painted Wang pictures everywhere.
The other one,
Still
You know,
1.2 times.
that is a half-truth. I spray painted portraits of the band Wang Chung.
All kinds of things can happen when you're in Scotland.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
Engaging in
Dalton
sex
Fan.
magic. You know.
what's her name? J.K. Rowling, the old like
Yes!
planet that she lived in after she became famous,
Yes.
it like skyrocketed. And
No. Oh, you're so close, almost there.
J.K. Rowling wrote a book and it became very popular, and
That
the
is,
paper was
that
written
is
on it.
actually another piece of the answer.
And she wrote it in Scotland.
Privet Drive. The house on Privet Drive.
J.K. Rowling wrote Casino Royale and a gold-plated typewriter
Give it to
owned by
Shaun.
Kafka.
Give it to Shaun. The answer is J.K. Rowling was staying in the Balmoral Hotel in Edinburgh when she was writing the end of the Harry Potter book 7. When she finished the book and thereby the series, she became so excited that she committed a horrible act of vandalism on a decorative bust in the room by writing on the back of it, J.K. Rowling finished writing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows in this room 552 on 11th January 2007. Having committed this horrible crime, she reported to the Balmoral staff, and the hotel responded by renaming the room in her honor and charging Potterheads £1,000 a night to stay in.
So looking for a similar inspiration, George R.R. Martin went to the same room and he's just been staring at that bust.
Trying to find a way to
Hold
kill
on,
it.
just to clarify, Edinburgh's in Scotland?
Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Edinburgh is in Scotland.
It's Brooklyn, Manhattan, Edinburgh.
Queensborough Landing. New Westminster.
These are all things I didn't know. I'm
Yeah,
learning.
You guys are so lucky there's no geography questions.
Are we though?
It's impossible to have a geek trivia show about explorers without mentioning the archetypical space exploration franchise, Star Trek.
I disagree.
Well, it
You don't
was.
like Star Trek?
No, I disagree that we couldn't have it without Star Trek.
But we didn't get.
Bazinga.
This year, Star Trek celebrates its 50th anniversary, covering 5 TV series and 13 movies, the latter of which were ranked by the fans at a 2013 convention in Vegas. The 7th best Star Trek movie, The Medium, was an interesting choice. Why?
Because it was Galaxy Quest.
Ooh, I gotta make non-Eric.
I totally pulled that one out of my ass. I just
No, it was. It was.
Are you serious?
It was. The fans loved it so much. The 7th
Wow.
best Star Trek movie is officially Galaxy Quest.
We're really happy.
Okay, listen. I am going to state for the record that if I don't at least get to go on one date with a Timothy Dalton fan, this night is a bust for me.
Is it the J.K. Rowling bus?
We can't really help that. She's not one of our prizes.
Well, not with that attitude.
Think about it, man!
Why did astronauts blow up Arizona?
In what?
Reality.
Why did they blow up Arizona? Because it's fucking Arizona. Have you ever been there? They blew it up because nobody... No, not to get rid of it. Excuse me, if I could finish. It's because Arizona is one of the few places that if you were to blow it up, people would walk around and go, look, $13 worth of improvement. No one would know that you blew up Arizona.
Is it perhaps they were trying to do Eddie last thing to get the Coyotes to play somewhere else where people would watch them?
Arizona was the birthplace
You
of...
used the term blow up, not exploded. Is this an explosion or is this inflating a map of Arizona?
I'm glad you're thinking that way,
Because
but I do mean explosions
I'm
in
not,
this case.
okay, because I'm not going to lie. I draw pictures of geographical places on condoms, which I then inflate and I hang from...
Are you saying you've actually Belgiumed someone?
No. I said I inflate condoms. That is nothing to
that's
do.
much better.
That's why. That's why I inflate condoms, because that's the only fucking thing I know how to
hope
do
you
with them.
wouldn't after doing this. I mean, that ink can't be good for you.
No, I don't want to be like, hey, you got Washington State in you and me. No, I'm not going to do that. Olympiad! I'm Hercules. No. Sorry, what was the
I'll
question?
say that is far better than what I say. You might say you've got Washington State in you, but when I'm there, I just say you've got a state of confusion inside of you. And also, I appreciate your shame spiral. That's my type of
No,
lady.
that's true. Because the thing about Patrick and I is Patrick and I, we each meet girls on different areas, different ways down on the shame spiral.
That is true.
No, don't worry.
I enjoy a lady who loves drinking and hates her father.
Why
You're really going
did
to have a
astronauts
great
blow up
relationship with your daughter.
Arizona?
You leave my daughter
Because
alone. She will be a virgin until she's 113.
And then what's going to happen?
I'll be dead. Hopefully I'll be dead by then. I hope I'm dead by then.
Arizona,
Face
please!
reality.
Focus!
Astronauts blew up Arizona because Patrick touches himself at night.
At night.
I don't... How is this this.
Why are we limited to day and night? Come on, Aaron.
I agree.
Yeah.
Does Arizona have rocks that are similar to things that you might find on the moon?
Yes, thank you. That's actually exactly right. To build the moon, specifically in the 1960s, the astrogeology branch of the United States Geological Survey in Flagstaff, Arizona, created an artificial crater field at Cinder Lake. Cinder Lake is an extinct volcano full of porous volcanic rock that was deemed ideal for simulating moon expeditions.
So this was a different one than the one that was in Stanley Kubrick's garage.
Where they faked the moon landing.
Which was actually done
faking the moon landing.
Which was actually done in Sault Ste. Marie.
They very carefully constructed and placed bombs to simulate various impacts until they had completely recreated part of the intended Apollo 11 landing site in the Sea of Tranquility.
I'm not going to lie, that's pretty interesting as well.
Where would you go to find the space fish?
Where would I go to find the space fish?
The space fish?
The space fish?
This is an actual thing. This is a real existing thing.
Would you go to
Not
the
like
exhibit in
Narnia or
Victoria or Nanaimo that has the ass fish that has been discovered? It's actually of the cod family? Yes.
Ass fish,
Yeah,
this is true.
yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
The ass fish, yeah. That
On
was
display at the Royal BC
Is
Museum.
that
Victoria.
where you would go as well?
That's interesting.
Well,
It is interesting.
The ass
No,
fish,
that
yeah.
actually is interesting, but no. No.
I would like to say for the record that actually said something that sounded intelligent. I think that deserves applause. So if you, sir, clap. If you think you're better than everybody, you can fucking sit on your hands. But until then, you'll applaud. Don't come here with your
I
guest in your shirt.
I do know what I could say about where to find the space fish that would make something flash on the screen.
What's that?
The audience.
Should I say it?
Yes. Yes.
Space.
Whoa.
Really? You didn't predict someone would say that?
Or maybe you did, actually. We're having a technical difficulty.
Yet, hold on.
It's supposed to screen that.
Wait, there should be a statute of limitations on the
Wait, I would like to bring attention that my future third ex-wife has something to say.
Didn't they find an aquatic bacterium in the high Arctic that they thought had alien DNA?
I will accept her answer.
They did think that interesting. Not what I'm looking for.
Wait, no, they were saying, I read recently they thought octopi are from outer space.
Yes!
No, some kind of bonkers people had an idea about that, but they're really, really not.
It was in an Irish newspaper.
Does Cthulhu count as a fish? Because if he does, Rylea.
Wait a minute, Carl Sagan said that if we were to find aliens, they would look like an octopus. Or no, he said they would look like a squid.
Just a second. Finn, if you could push F5, reload that page, please.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking to our technical
No,
person.
Carl
That-
Sagan
Someone's
said-
celebrating. Someone was celebrating.
Just say-
Europa!
By the way, this is the exact same.
Apparently we're not finding a spaceship on
No,
this.
I was going to say,
It's just
this is direct feed from the keg right now.
Where's my prime rib?
I like it, Patrick.
Thank you.
Yeah, solid.
Or Joey Tomatoes or Cactus Club. I could have used any one of the references.
Based on my experience, I'd say the
The
keg.
keg is probably right, yeah.
First instinct was absolutely correct.
Which is weird for Patrick.
This activity we're just going to have ignored. The actual answer.
They're my friends.
The actual answer is Roppongi Hills, Tokyo. The most interesting thing about this urban development is a small, quiet garden with this pond full of tiny silver fish. These fish, a kind called medaka, are all the descendants of fish that were bred in orbit aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia in 1994.
That's really fucking cool.
That is cool.
They are still studied periodically today as an ongoing part of this experiment about reproduction in space.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
Actually space.
Where is that again?
That is in Roppongi Hills in Tokyo.
We should go there.
Yeah.
We really should.
All right, everybody get your jacket on.
Ellen!
All right. What happens?
I really enjoy this show. I hope it goes on to become very popular. This deserves fame, and it
there's the
deserves
space
everyone
fish.
here to bring at
That's
least
not
12
the real
friends
space
to the
fish.
next
That's
one.
my pretend space
That's
fish.
your pretend space.
That's my pretend space fish. Yes. All right. So the next question
Agree with
that
Patrick.
are working. What happens if you cross Armstrong's line?
Jesus, I don't...
You get the wrath
Nope,
of
not
ridiculous muscles.
No. Also, don't do that.
What do these words mean? What
What
is
is symbols, Patrick?
What is Full Metal Alchemist?
think it's an anime?
It's an anime.
Full Metal Alchemist is an anime with this character in it who is named Armstrong.
Oh, I thought his name was Johnny Lactation Eye.
I'm making milk! You want to know how I squirt milk out of my eye? I'm a Hulk.
I'm a Hulk.
However, that's not the Armstrong we're talking about. That's a decoy.
I know there are other lunar astronauts that if you cross their line, they'll punch you in the goddamn face.
Good for you, Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, very good.
Is Armstrong's line somewhere?
Is it Neil
Is it Neil
Armstrong?
Armstrong we're talking about?
If you cross the line of Neil
Not
Armstrong?
Neil Armstrong.
No?
And
Is it Lance?
I've forgotten to put him on the list.
Is it? Does it have to? Yes. Does it have to do with
Lance Armstrong.
Lance
The question is his
Armstrong,
name.
who has actually officially won as many Tour de France's as anyone in this room?
No.
What? Now, were you clashing when he said it first? Okay, good.
Nope. Actually, this is none of those Armstrongs. It's a different Armstrong.
Armstrong,
Is it Armstrong cheese? Is it
Armstrong
if you
cheddar.
cross the line of Armstrong cheese,
Too much
then,
bacteria
then
comes in?
Gouda for you, because you'll get a mozzarella right in the portobello.
Damn it!
Portobello's a mushroom patch.
Well, don't overthink the joke. Just enjoy to move the fuck on.
Once again,
Move the Belgium on.
once again, lactose intolerant.
I cannot stand lactose. I will not have my daughter marry a lactose. I will not have her date a lactose because I am intolerant to their ways.
He has an even more way. He has
That guy's face.
Yeah, he has an anti-lactose rant that he puts up on his blog.
All right. What actually happens if you cross
He was in
Armstrong's
support of
line?
keeping an eye on barbaric lactose activities.
It's true. I was like, it looks like somebody's enjoying something other than vanilla.
He heard about a slice of cheese taking a picture.
Vancity Buzz is on it.
All right. What actually happens when you cross Armstrong's line is you start to boil, or at least all your exposed fluids do, and then you die.
Your exposed fluids?
Yep. Armstrong's line, or Armstrong's limit, is the height at which the atmospheric pressure is so low, 6.3 kilopascals, that water boils at body temperature, 37 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
It's therefore the height past which there is absolutely no way for a human to survive outside a pressurized environment. The height is roughly 12 miles and varies between 62,000 and 63,500 feet with local atmospheric pressure changes. Huh.
By the way, I would like to state for the record that I feel that this slide, we are now getting into a subject I may be an expert on.
Well, let's find out.
All right.
What did the desperate Dr. Snow do with his deadly pump?
He
This is a question you should know.
pumped it.
Did the desperate did it become did it become a breast pump of some sort?
No.
Something sexual? How is a breast pump something sexual? I would like to say that is a travesty against women. Listen, a woman
I know
breastfeeding
a
a
lot
child
of
is not
infant
sexual.
fetishists.
That is not.
I'm inclined to allow that just because Patrick said it.
No, a woman
He's also
breastfeeding
a
her
father.
child is a glorious and wondrous thing, and that every woman should be proud to be breastfeeding
Okay, yeah, now
her
it's
child.
getting weird. Now it is getting weird.
I'm just saying, it is something
Dr.
that
Snow.
it is the best way for your child to have a high immune
Well, if
system.
there's one
It
thing
gives
I
them
know
great
about
antibodies.
okay,
You
shut
should
up.
not be ashamed.
If there's one thing I
of
know about this Dr. Stowe, it's that he knows nothing. So there's no telling what he might have done with this.
So his name is Jon Snow.
What kind of pump are we talking about?
Is it a high heel?
That would give it away.
Is it a high heel? Dr. Snow took his pump and he put it on women so that they would walk around and would help with their posture?
No.
Okay.
Not a shoe.
Not a
Not a
shoe.
shoe. Not a shoe.
Yes, from the audience.
And decoy.
He murdered someone with it?
No.
It's a good answer though.
Yeah.
You're heading in an interesting, relevant direction, but no, that's not it.
It's a desperate
He slaughtered an animal for food.
No.
For pleasure. No, he slaughtered an animal for pleasure. For sport.
Not the animal's pleasure.
No.
It became the Swedish penis larger from Austin Powers.
That probably falls under
That's appropriate. That's appropriate. That's appropriate.
What he did is it disabled it to save lives. In August 1854, a massive outbreak of cholera hit Soho in London, ultimately killing 500 people. Although the miasma theory of disease was in vogue at the time, Dr. John Snow, who knew more than nothing, identified the origin as a particular public water pump contaminated by a nearby cesspool. Convinced the local officials to remove the handle. Whether this halted the outbreak is debatable, as it may have run its course, but the pump's contamination problem was never fixed, so he undoubtedly prevented the next one. Ah, my favorite picture! My favorite picture for the show! What? Why did Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and John McClane go to the crystal caves of Stratica? So this wasn't as random as it looks.
Why did they go to the crystal caves of Stratica?
Stratica.
Where's Stratica?
What are the crystal caves of
Amazingly,
Stratica?
I'll tell you, it's in the real world.
It's in Belgium.
It's not in Belgium.
But it should
How
be.
dare you?
I would assume that they went there to film scenes for the movies that they needed.
Nope.
To gain knowledge, to see the wizard. Because Christmas was afoot.
I wouldn't
Because
know.
the yellow brick road was the one to follow, and the red brick road went somewhere else.
Would this have to do with the previous iteration of John McClane, played by Frank Sinatra?
No.
That's a true story. That is a true story. That because Die Hard is based on the second novel in a series of books.
Yeah.
And the first novel was adapted, and Frank Sinatra played the protagonist. And then the second novel.
I didn't know this.
And when they made Die Hard, they contractually were obliged to give Frank Sinatra the right to play John McClane in Die Hard, which he quickly refused.
Because he was dead.
He wasn't dead in '88.
He wasn't?
No, he was still alive, but he said, no thank you, I don't want to run around and shoot and say yippee-ki-yay.
And they said, how did you make all this money? He said, I did it my way.
No, I actually do mean this version.
I'm gonna say I don't know.
No, I got nothing.
I don't... How? Why?
To retire, specifically to be stored. Stratica, also known as the Kansas Underground Salt
It's
Museum,
right
is
in
a
the
museum
museum, yes.
and storage facility built into a salt mine in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Right, that's where they put all the films to preserve them.
That's right, but it's too late for that now. You don't
In
get
a
any
salt
points when
mine?
I'm
Wait, they put the films in a salt mine?
Yes.
Would that not destroy the film?
No, not when the salt isn't being thrown on them anymore. They're in an area where
That absorbs moisture.
Got it. Yeah. I want to say didn't they end the movie Warlock on that like a big salt flat around there too?
Possibly, I don't
So I think
know.
salt killed Julian Sands.
Was it because in both movies the villain is assaulted? That is the appropriate response, thank you. It was very, very shitty.
In the first Wizard of Oz movie, who were the villains?
The first Wizard of Oz movie?
Yep.
So not the MGM one,
yeah,
the silent one.
Oh, very well done.
Dr. No, and,
By Joseph Wiseman. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
and
The Ironmonger.
Well
Come
done.
on.
Well done, Eric, for dodging the trap, but who are the
I actually did know this at one point in time.
The only footage I've ever seen of it is the trees.
It was originally called Birth of a Nation, right?
Yes.
So I don't think we should say who the villains were.
Yes. G.W. Griffith.
The villains were human compassion.
victims more than...
What?
Disagree.
I don't even know what that meant. Why? Did anyone say that?
No, nobody said anything even slightly like that. What are you doing?
Good. We're good.
5 points from Pufflebuff.
Too soon.
All right. The answer is Prime Minister Cruel, aided by Ambassador Wicked, Lady Vicious, and the Wizard and the Tin Man.
I'm putting it out there. Lady Vicious. Perfect burlesque name for someone.
That's true. That's very
Fine.
Mine is.
I'll
Mine
take
is.
it.
I was at a bakery, and I saw my burlesque name, Sticky Ginger Loaf.
That is good.
Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
And you know what? It was. I ate some of it, and it was delicious. So
You ate your sticky ginger loaf?
cannibal. If I
Yeah,
could.
you did.
Right.
He ate it only after he had glazed it.
Anyway, in this
Much more
movie,
flexible than he looks.
in this movie, Dorothy was the secret heir to Oz. The Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion were actual farmhands in disguise, and the Tin Man, played by Oliver Hardy, was a jealous, selfish man who wanted Dorothy all to himself.
Oliver Hardy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Tom Hardy. I'm sorry. I
Oliver Hardy
apologize.
is
Oh, no, don't start.
I thought
No,
Move the cup.
I
Move
just
the cup. Move the cup.
I just thought that you were saying Tom Hardy.
No.
That Tom Hardy during
Did
Wizard of
somebody
Oz,
say impersonations?
he would just say,
Yes, you claim the Yellow Brick Road as your ally. You merely adapted yourself to this of the land of Oz.
Where is Frank?
You laugh at this now, but wait
I
till you hear it
only-
for the 8,000th time.
I only did that because my friends didn't want me to do it. Why? Because I don't read social situations.
I need meeker panelists, because I just can't keep control of this.
I would also like to state that this is exactly what I see when I close my eyes at night. This is the image inside of my brain. When I went to several therapists, all of whom have committed suicide.
Well, this actual image is one of Goya's black paintings.
Is it?
Yep, Saturn Evening.
Except I would prefer that we call it African American paintings.
Children's shows can often
Too soon?
Children's shows can often be incredibly disturbing, even unintentionally. For example, one successful one includes, as a villain, a monster from Aztec myths that drowns humans because it loves to eat their flesh.
Which children love!
What show is it?
That was
What show is it?
Mr. Dresser.
Can I finish the question?
Oh, sorry.
Let's see what's in the tickle drum.
What
It's a
show
man.
is it, and what creature was this that was able to frighten the kind of people who like to roll conquistadors' heads down ziggurat steps?
Say it again, please. Say the question again. Ask, please.
Aztec, we're looking for a TV show that had an Aztec monster.
Yes, children's shows can often be incredibly disturbing, even unintentionally. For example, one successful one includes, as a villain, a monster from Aztec myths that drowns humans because it loves to eat their flesh. What show is it, and what creature was this that was able to frighten the kind of people who like
Is
to
it
roll
a
conquistadors?
There is one show that comes to mind. It's Life is Like a Hurricane here in Duckville. Duckburg.
No,
You know, no?
no. Good guess, but no.
Was it the Animaniacs?
It's not a Duckler.
No.
Not a duck
I think the
bird.
monster is called it.
Nope, it's not. And if you
Oh, rewrite history, DuckTales. Woo!
Honest to God, I feel like you just asked Sean and
The
Eric.
danger lurks behind you.
You were like, what are things Patrick knows nothing about, yet you guys know
There's a
everything?
huge swath of that, so I don't know if you needed a
The audience might have an answer for us.
Oh,
I was
yes,
actually-
audience, yes, the one clever
Timothy
one.
Dalton.
Yes.
In My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and they do the one with the daring do.
Yes!
Oh.
Yes, the creature.
Clearly the target market is sitting here.
The creature is an ahuzotl, described as resembling a black hairless aquatic dog with hands and an
Oh, did
extra
she get a
hand.
prize?
Yes.
She deserves a prize.
Good
for you.
Excellent.
I was almost going to go with Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated because they had some really crazy shit. Go find, no seriously, find Scooby-Doo Mystery
This is
Incorporated.
the second or third question I have had on this show about a terrifying monster that appeared in Friendship is Magic. So Scooby-Doo's got nothing on this.
I'll check out Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated on the Netflix. It is
Anyway,
fantastic.
yes.
By the way, I'd like to state for the record, this is what I see when my eyes are open.
Speaking of those shows, how did The Wizard of Oz prove that you can't make a My Little Pony live-action movie? And in this case, I'll give you a little hint. I do mean the famous MGM.
I would like to go to the audience, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
someone already
The
yelled out
horse
the
of a
answer.
different color.
Say again, please. What?
The horse of a different color.
Yes, but that's not an answer. How did it prove?
Oh, did the horse get some kind of terrible disease after they painted it, or it died? It was something terrible.
Oh god, something terrible happened to everyone who worked on Wizard of Oz.
That's true.
Something terrible happened to everyone who worked
It
on
actually-
every movie
the
before
horses-
1963.
I'll give you this much. You're headed in the right direction. But the horses were fine, and what happened to them was hilarious, not horrible.
They got the trots. Boom. High five. High five all around. Everybody else is laughing. If you're not, it's you.
That's true, we can't help it.
But is it related to the horses and not to something
It is related to the horse with a different color.
The horses ended up seeing what Patrick sees whenever he closes his eyes.
I want to point out someone. Yes!
Yeah, oh yeah. Don't think that wasn't the first pony my eyes were drawn to.
You like Ace?
Oh, it's great.
Ace is that pony's name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why do I
It
feel
kinda
like
has to be,
why do I
right?
feel like Ace is the pony you go to when you need some fucking magic pixie dust, if you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at. I'm all seeing Luke Wilson from Royal Tenenbaums.
I'm more seeing Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't know what it is, but these ponies,
They're cutie marks.
I keep getting older, but their magic still stays the same.
Anyway, what actually happened was
That made you guys laugh?
the
Really?
scenes.
Those two laughed and nobody else laughed. I don't care for that couple. That's not true. I love you both. Please love me. I'm lonely.
There are three of them there.
Hi, Patrick.
There's 3 people there?
This is the problem when that's what you see when your eyes are open. The scenes when the main characters arrived at the Emerald City included several shots of an MLP-style pastel-colored horse pulling a carriage and changing color. This was done with a group of horses who were actually colored with gelatin dessert crystals, since the crew couldn't use
Sorry,
real dye.
can we just say,
Hold on.
please, a group of horses who were actually African Americans?
I love the fact that nobody gets the joke.
These scenes, I get it. It's just much fun.
Sean, if I could, I would...
You know what? I figured it didn't work for Patrick when he did it. Why don't I give it a try? Maybe I can just brace it up. Brace it up.
I'll bring it home later.
Sean, I just want to tell you that our
scenes-
friendship ladder has had 2 rungs added to it.
And you know what, folks? That's because friendship is magic.
Oh, God bless you, Eric. You are rung number 3. Our friendship ladder is now verging on being too dangerously high.
That was my nickname
Anyway.
anyway. Run number 3. Don't want to talk about it.
It was
These-
rung number 3 only
these
because of his
scenes-
diphthalic
I
terrain.
haven't gotten to the answer yet.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Bye. So they were colored. They were colored with Jello.
Yeah, well, I was saying the answer. They're colored with jello, yes.
They were colored with the bones
Did
of their
they lick each other
ancestors.
to death?
Almost. These scenes had to be shot really quickly because the horses immediately started to lick the sweet crystals off.
Themselves or each other?
Not specified, probably both.
Because I was at a university party, very similar.
And there were a lot of people licking crystals off each other.
Here's
Yes.
a question for Patrick.
Oh, the question.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's let Patrick have a moment here. He hasn't got a word in yet.
Yeah.
If, as an explorer, you arrived at the Stoivadeum, you would find some remarkable marble statues. This is not a picture of it. Don't look at those.
All right.
What is remarkable about them?
Those marble statues were, oh God, are they statues or are they actual just marble carvings?
What was the name of this place?
What's the difference? There's a huge difference. I'm asking for clarification.
Are they standalone or built into the wall?
I think.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. These are standalone.
Standalone. All right.
Can you repeat the name of the location?
The Stoivadeum. I'm not 100% certain I'm saying that correctly.
Could you spell it, please?
Stoivadeon. I'm not really good at Greek names.
Burnaby. It's Burnaby.
The thing that is interesting about
the
them
statues. The statues are all totally broke. They go.
They are, but that's not very interesting. A lot of ancient Greek ruins are like that.
that they are statues that are representative of
That was a big
Catholicism, even
Say a
though
Patrick thing.
I don't know, they're representative of Catholicism, even though they're in Greece, and you would not expect that because you would expect Greek statues.
I'm
Not
gonna go with they're made of ice cream.
They're anatomically correct.
Yes.
Is it
More than
because
that.
they're
More
anatomic?
than that. More than that.
Because their penises.
Yes, thank you. They are giant 7-foot-long penises.
I was going to say their penises are representative of phallic symbols, and they were
right, then you
worshipped
don't
for
get
their
the point.
reproductive.
Wait, their penises were representative of phallic symbols.
That's a little on the nose.
My nose is actually represented as a phallic symbol.
We didn't realize there was a single entendre, but now, interesting.
In this case, those statues were actually literally just giant penises.
To represent where you would go for whores.
I know that's a very popular form in Korea.
Well,
Yeah.
this was a temple to Dionysus located on the
Yes.
sacred Greek island of Delos. Dionysus being, among other things, the god of fertility. And
Yes, I was correct.
You were. A
Yes.
rather direct approach to his symbolism.
I would like to say that I fucking cleaned up on the cock route.
That's
He tells us this at the end of every day.
clean up on the cock round.
That is actually what I said at the end of my
How?
first and 7th job.
The cock round is what he calls Stanley Park.
That's brilliant. How did a lack of SpaghettiOs lead to the shooting death of a very angry Egyptian man?
Come on, I don't.
Yeah,
I
get
feel that you're reaching for connections.
Yeah, it's almost as if the show was based around something like that.
Is that what it's based on?
Among other things.
I thought it was just based on things that Eric and Shaun fucking know about.
That was an accident and seems to have happened a little too much.
Yeah, exactly. You're just gonna ask about like the fucking anyway.
Well, they don't automatically know about murder that comes from SpaghettiOs.
Okay,
Well,
so
If it involves Douglas Adams and fucking Doctor Who,
Did he
then
say
they will.
Doug Adams?
That is how I'm gonna refer to him from now on because I'm just very upset.
Very upsetting.
Murder.
So there was a
and
very.
spaghetti.
So the SpaghettiOs don't really
the
look
angry
like-
Egyptian man was shot, not the shooter.
Yes.
What did he order SpaghettiOs in a restaurant and he had to be subdued by shooting?
Was he expecting a different type of pasta dish?
No, I'll give you a little bit of
That's
a hint.
very generous to SpaghettiOs.
I'll give you
to
a
refer
little
to them
bit
as a
of a-
pasta
of a
dish.
hint.
I know. I'm a gourmet.
Hey, hold on. Abby has something to say. We should give her some respect.
Oh, by now. Sure. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. This is actually partly in reference to a very famous movie scene. But only partly.
All right. Well, obviously, this is where
Not that obvious.
the rosebud scene from Citizen Kane, obviously.
The original word he said was SpaghettiOs. And then the guy stood up and he goes, "This is bullshit. I will not stand for it. This has
Amazing.
been improperly translated." I don't know why this Egyptian man is Russian, but in my world, we are one and the same.
Also, this is already a more interesting version of Citizen Kane than the original.
Are you? Yikes.
I'm under the impression that's...
First Big Bang Theory, now Citizen Kane.
Yeah, wow.
What's
I'm under the impression that it was relatively well liked. But that's just me.
Next, she's going to attack the parody brilliance of Weird Al.
Never. Al is sacred.
You back the fuck off, Patrick.
I don't honestly understand this fucking panel. I don't know where the line is in any way whatsoever. I feel as though
Armstrong's line was
this is...
about 12 miles up.
I feel as though right now I'm in the middle of... I am in the seventh year of my 15-year marriage. That's how I feel right now. I'm completely confused
It
and
has to be
somehow it's still moving forward.
a very famous movie scene. I'm not thinking of one with spaghetti.
Would it
For
be
some reason,
based upon the Lady and the Tramp scene where they ate the spaghetti together?
Yeah, because I'd get really angry if I tried to eat SpaghettiOs that way.
With a is that...
Although I did that with a cheeseburger the other night. It was
with
amazing.
vanilla ice cream.
A very famous movie scene.
Is it
Can you
very
give us?
famous?
Can I give you?
Can you give us?
Oh, this is where the monkey brain, were the monkey brains simulated by SpaghettiOs?
No, but damn, you're getting close.
Can we?
Sorry, Willie Scott just shut me down.
All right.
Is this Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom?
Yeah, Kate Capshaw just shut down. It's like, oh, it's
During the filming of Raiders of the Lost Ark in Tunisia, every single cast and crew member got sick, with the sole exception of
right, the
director,
swordsman,
Steven
right?
Spielberg.
The why don't we just shoot the son of a bitch scene?
That's right, but
Yeah.
the original
Oh,
intention of filming scenes
yes.
in the end attack was that he was
Right.
supposed to get the sword away with his.
Yeah, it was like a page and a half script thing, right? It was a page and a half.
Harrison Ford was too sick to do this, so on his suggestion, Indy just shot the guy instead. The reason Spielberg was the only one who didn't get sick is probably because he refused to eat anything but what he brought with him, can after can of SpaghettiOs. So because Harrison Ford hadn't had SpaghettiOs, the Egyptian guy had to be shot.
Can I just say, it's kind of unfair to Raiders of the Lost Ark to compare it to Temple of Doom.
The next question is going to be about Temple of Doom.
Okay, it was like, in Empire Strikes Back, Jar Jar Binks. No. No.
Some people gonna find this interesting.
We are going to skip ahead a little bit because we're running short on
We
time.
actually gotta,
We have to wrap this up.
One last question. And in fact, Anne, could you move to the last question about the cheese?
Is the answer Armstrong line?
Gouda?
there we go.
Is the answer
Portobello.
This
is
our
the answer
last question.
George Lucas?
No. Stop. Would you like the question?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, cheese trays are a pretty swank sort of snack and might even make a great last meal. What goes best with Wensleydale and pepper when the world is ending?
Ilchester.
Good
Chester.
Good
Staggeringly
conversation.
popular around here.
Good conversation goes best with those when the world is ending.
American cheddar.
No,
Old
more
Force.
cheese.
A red
The
wine?
answer is not more cheese.
A red wine?
No.
A white wine? A rosé?
A Python sketch.
Wallace and Gromit.
Ooh, close.
A python that is harvesting its own wine?
Chicken run.
Chickens who run?
And since we're out of time, I'm going to cut it off there. The answer is, and you'll love this, Brian and the Antichrist. In the apocalyptic novel Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, the Antichrist was a small boy named Adam who was raised quietly in the British countryside. And when it came time for the horsemen of the apocalypse to ride out, death, war, famine, and pollution were faced down and defeated by Adam and his friends, Pepper, Wensleydale, and Brian.
Adam, that's interesting how Neil Gaiman made the first man as also the last man. Wow, he's a good writer.
That's not what Abby said.
Anyway.
Is that not? That's what I got.
Abby said Adam was the Antichrist.
This is what happens when you see nothing but My Little Ponies. Eyes are open.
This explains a lot about every conversation I've had with Patrick.
We love you, Patrick.
Anyway, so that brings us to the scores.
I will take it.
We're going ear kindling later, though. So
I will take it. I will take soft love over hard
In
hatred any day.
fifth place, at the bottom of the world with minus 36 points, Aaron Golden.
Congratulations, you scored a lot of points to get from minus 70 to minus 36.
That's pretty good, Aaron. You should be proud of
And I
yourself.
took some penalties on top of it.
That's right.
Oh.
34 points.
In
Good for
fourth
you.
place with 64 points, the audience.
Oh, good for you.
In third place with 90 points, Shaun Stewart.
All right, fair enough. I'll take it. Yeah.
With a look of
I appreciate the two of
probably
you.
with a look of
applauding.
shock on his face, and in second place with 120 points, Patrick Maliha.
It's okay, Patrick. It's 120, but she is speaking in metric.
Oh, very well
And
then.
probably
That's like
surprising
430.
no one, incinerating the game with 190 points, Eric Fell.
I would like to say that I feel you have misplaced a zero, and with Eric and what he did, probably 1,900. This man, he fucking.
I am
shit.
frequently referred to as a misplaced zero.
Now that's a brilliant
That
name.
alone should win him whatever we're paying for.
So, tonight, we have learned the Fraggles helped bring down the USSR, the sacred statues of Delos are massive schlongs, and if you don't eat SpaghettiOs, you just might get shot. And with that, our edifying entertainment in Act 6 end. Establish echoes of applause for my erstwhile enlistees, the Gentlemen Hecklers.
Sean,
Yes, sir.
before we go, where can we next see the Gentlemen Hecklers?
Well, that would be February the 11th at the Rio Theater when we will be presenting The Notebook.
Providing live hilarious commentary to the terrifying stalker drama, The Notebook.
The horrible things they did to me, they're gonna do to the movie.
Theo has a new name. That name is
The Gentlemen Hecklers.
The Notebook.
Well, I was close.
Anyway, from Eric, Sean, Patrick, Aaron, and myself, have an excellent evening.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Ann.